image to life.
Wow.
It was a labor of love because when using some 80,000 pins to paint, a few pricks and blisters are a small price to pay. 30 of the artist's work now on display in South Korea, and when you look at them, it is hard to believe that you're looking at pins.
How does one even begin to realize, you know what, I'm gonna make art out of pins?
Let's try this.
My gosh.
And all the different colors? Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Okay, a lot of Band-Aids for that one.
Look at that, Michael Jackson. All right, that's our time for now.
I'm just like, oh.
It is mesmerizing. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5, a whistleblower complained that has triggered a renewed impeachment effort will be available to some House, Senate, Intelligence committees. We'll have the latest from the nation's capital.
Plus, Madison police arrest a man who is accused of sexually assaulting women downtown. The latest on this investigation.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with News 3 Now. President Trump says he supports full transparency on a whistleblower's complaint about his dealings with Ukraine minutes after it was delivered to Capitol Hill.
During the call with the Ukrainian president, he told them, quote, the other thing, there's a lot of talk about Biden's son, that Biden stopped the prosecution, and a lot of people want to find out about that. So whatever you can do with the attorney general, that would be great. President Trump also said the attorney general and his personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, would follow up. CBS News has confirmed that before the call summary was released, congressional Republicans discussed it.
Naming any president, should they have to release the transcripts of every conversation they have with another world leader? The answer should be no.
It is shocking at another level that the White House would release these notes and felt that somehow this would help the president's case.
We have very few votes going over
This afternoon, the whistleblower's complaint was delivered to the House and Senate Intelligence Committees for review. Two of Wisconsin's Democratic members of Congress, Gwen Moore and Mark Pocan, say they have long backed impeachment. U.S. Representative Ron Kynes says in a statement Wednesday that reports of Trump's calls are extremely concerning, but stopped short of saying he supports impeachment. None of Wisconsin's 4 congressional Republicans have said they support impeachment over the president's phone call to the president of Ukraine and the discussion of investigating former Vice President Biden and his son.
Police say Madison streets are now a bit safer after they arrested a man believed to be involved in a string of sexual assaults over the past week.
26-year-old Luis Ruiz Ugalde was arrested Monday by the Violent Crimes Unit. Chief Mike Koval says he is a predator of the worst kind. Jamie Perez joining us live now from the location of one of the assaults. Jamie?
Right now, we're actually on East Main Street, and like you said, this is just one of 4 locations where women reported being sexually assaulted, and we are about to show you some of those other locations as well. Now, earlier today at a press conference, Police Chief Mike Koval said that photos and surveillance video were really key in finding this guy, and he says that the most important piece of evidence actually came from an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old.
I think, again, he is a predator of the worst kind.
Police Chief Mike Koval said that about 26-year-old Luis Ruiz Ugalde, the suspect they arrested, believed to be involved in a string of sexual assaults happening in the last 7 days.
It's always amazing to me to see victims who have the capacity and the resiliency to provide us with some incredible victim statements of specificity, of detail, to be able to describe their assailant with that sense of certainty.
The first happening last Tuesday at 5:30 in the morning when Ruiz Ugalde was believed to have gone into an apartment at Howard Place trying to sexually assault a woman. The next happened last Friday around 8 at night, where a woman reported a man came up behind her and groped her. The next 2 happening Sunday night. One involved a woman who said a man was following her around 9:45 before coming up and attacking her. The other involved a 13 and 11-year-old on a Madison Metro bus around 7 o'clock that night.
Some groping attempts, and had predicated all this behavior by surveillance footage that shows him masturbating in the back of the bus. And the girls were obviously concerned, disheveled, taken aback, and it was the 11-year-old as well as the 13-year-old who made a timely report that was given to the MPD.
Koval said the 11-year-old took a picture of him, which helped them in making an arrest.
Because she had listened well to a parent, and the parent had told her, you know, when you engage or interact with people that give you that sort of creepy feeling, take out your cell phone and take a picture of them.
Ruiz Ugalde is facing tentative charges of burglary, fourth-degree sexual assault, battery, and attempted second-degree sexual assault. Police say he is also a person of interest in other recent downtown crimes, but MPD does not have enough probable cause on those just yet. Police Chief Mike Koval said there may be other victims involved in separate crimes that simply haven't been reported yet. So if you know any information, you are encouraged to talk to police.
Jamie Perez reporting live from downtown Madison. Thank you.
A 21-year-old Madison man is facing charges in a deadly hit-and-run crash nearly 2 weeks ago now. Madison police say Brandon Eiler voluntarily showed up at the police department yesterday with his attorney. Crash happened September 12th, about 10 p.m. in the 1700 block of Northport. 60-year-old Daryl Sunderledge was walking along the street when someone ran over him. He died several days after the crash. Police say it was raining at the time of the crash. Sunderledge was wearing dark clothing. The traffic specialist is referring charges against Eiler to the district attorney, which include hit and run involving death and operating while revoked, causing death. A motorcyclist is dead following a hit and run crash in Rock County. Deputies say it happened about 8 this morning at Highway 11 at the interstate in the diverging Diamond interchange. Witnesses tell deputies a motorcycle was turning westbound onto Highway 11 when a semi failed to stop at a red light and ran over the motorcyclist, killing him. Police say the suspect vehicle is described as a white Volvo sleeper tractor pulling a white trailer. Anyone with information is asked to call the Rock County Sheriff's Department.
Fitchburg firefighters are investigating the cause of an apartment fire. Crews were called to the 4500 block of Thurston Lane in Fitchburg just before 8 this morning. Police say they were alerted by 2 children who saw smoke coming from the building. Firefighters say there was a fire in an apartment on the 2nd floor. 2 apartments have heavy fire damage and 2 apartments below have heavy water damage. Officials say no one was injured in the fire.
Residents were alerted. The building does not have a sprinkler system, which did allow the fire to extend a little bit faster than if there had been.
The Red Cross and Salvation Army are assisting those displaced by the fire.
Let's go look at first alert weather now. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joining us on the weather patio. Gary?
We've had a pretty nice day today. Some clouds have moved in overhead, but even those are starting to break up, and we should see mainly clear skies for tonight and a sunny day for tomorrow. You see that little batch of clouds coming in from the west. It looks a little thicker than it really is. They're mainly mid and high level clouds, and they're already starting to thin out. There were a few sprinkles over parts of northern Iowa, but they're going to fall apart long before they reach the Mississippi River. However, showers and thunderstorms up in northern Minnesota with our next weather system. That'll bring us some shower and thunderstorm chances by tomorrow night into Friday. Current temperatures are in the upper 60s to the lower 70s. Where the cloud covers moved in, temperatures have dropped a little bit. Dew point temperatures are still pretty low. The air is very dry, but that will change by tomorrow night. So look for skies to become mostly clear for tonight. Low temperatures will drop to around 50. We'll see a sunny and pleasant day for tomorrow with a high of 68. But showers and storms are in the forecast beginning later tomorrow night. I'll have all the details and weather in a few minutes.
All right, Gary, thank you. Governor Evers touring some damage in western Wisconsin after a powerful late-season tornado ripped through western Wisconsin last night, causing extensive damage to both homes and vehicles.
Meteorologists gave the twister a preliminary rating of an EF3. Dave Caulfield joining us now. Tornadoes in September, not unheard of, but this one's different.
Yeah, usually, Mark and Eric, Wisconsin averages about 2 tornadoes every September, but to get an EF3 tornado during the month of September in the year is very rare. It's only occurred 5 times since 1950. Now take a look at some of this damage from that tornado. Debris, down power lines, and tree branches litter the ground in the town of Wheaton. At least 3 semi-trailers overturned along Wisconsin Highway 29 northeast of Elk Mound last night as well. A few people suffered minor injuries as a result of these storms, according to local law enforcement, but it could have been a lot worse.
I feel like we are super lucky. Like, we had some guardian angels looking over us or something, because, I mean, we could have lost everything.
And only 2 EF3 tornadoes have occurred at a later date in September in Wisconsin. They actually happened on the same day, September 28th, 1971. One of those twisters, interestingly enough, also hit Chippewa County. Now, it's not the latest EF3 in the year. That actually occurred in 1970. On December 1st in Outagamie County.
Well, if it's warm enough,
yep,
they can pack a punch.
Anytime.
All right, Dave, thank you.
The legislature's bipartisan suicide prevention task force is calling for funding to be released quickly. The task force's report calls for $110,000 per year to fund the Hope Line. Now, that's a service that allows people to text a trained crisis counselor when they need help. Right now, the state does not contribute funding to that service. An earlier draft proposed passing a bill to make the money available, but the final version calls for the GOP-controlled budget committee to release that money.
We are coming to the end of National Suicide Prevention Month, and our group at Unity Point Meritor has been working for years toward a lofty goal to bring the hundreds of deaths by suicide in this state down to zero.
And to do that, they're seeking out the guidance of someone who knows about the struggle firsthand. Our Danica Lewis has more.
I think if we really want to achieve zero suicides, it can't just be the mental health providers that are working on this. It has to be everyone.
And for that very reason, Amy Nolden decided to bring her voice to the Zero Suicide Initiative at Unity Point Meritor after losing family members and struggling herself with suicidal thoughts.
It hurts to know that I'm not the only one struggling with this. I know I'm not. I'm not the first. I won't be the last. And I think that's the hardest part for me.
The goal of zero suicide is just what it sounds like, to prevent those preventable deaths through universal screenings, restricting access to means, and working on collaborative safety plans with at-risk patients. It's making sure everyone from therapists to receptionists, ER nurses to primary care physicians know their words and actions could affect someone who's thinking about killing themselves.
So we're getting better at preventing deaths in every other top 10 leading cause of death except for suicide. And again, I think it's because as a community, as a population, we're not looking at this as this is something I'm personally responsible for. And I think that has to change.
For Amy, it's even simpler than that. It's making sure people know there's understanding, there's help, and there's hope.
This has been a long journey for me, but history has shown me that things change. My thoughts, my feelings, my circumstances, they change, and if I can just hold on to just the tiniest bit of hope, like there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Megan Henderson with Unity Point Meritor's Adult Psychiatry Department wants to remind all of us we don't need training or expertise to help someone thinking about suicide. In fact, the best thing to do is ask and listen. To learn more about the Zero Suicide effort, where you can find help, check out this story at channel3000.com.
Wisconsinites are getting a closer look at the future of transportation. Experts shared information about how sustainable domestic transportation fuels and vehicles are driving Wisconsin's economy at the state capitol today. People were able to ride and drive electric vehicles and motorcycles. State representatives from Futures Caucus say it's a good opportunity for both sides of the aisle to find common ground.
If we coalesce behind issues like energy and jobs, economic development, transportation, I think there's a real opportunity for us to bridge that partisan divide and work together towards more opportunities, a more safe, a more just, and a better future for Wisconsin for everybody.
Wisconsin Clean Cities and Renew Wisconsin partnered to co-host the event.
Flying for the holidays? The experts at AAA say beginning today through the next month, you'll find your best airfare deals. They're calling this the sweet spot. A good rule of thumb is to book everything before Halloween. That way you don't see choices dwindle by Thanksgiving. Flights you'll likely find the best deals on Monday the 25th and Thanksgiving Day itself. For Christmas, Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day are the cheapest. Now, last-minute travelers do tend to get the best overall pricing if they book 7 to 13 days prior to their intended travel day, but of course you do run the risk of extremely limited availability.
But it's a gamble because you never know if there's going to be availability or not, and a lot of times you're left with options that may create more stress or don't quite fit the schedule that you're looking to make, and then you run the risk of having no options.
Another thing to check on, your baggage costs, and we take a closer look at those numbers at our website, channel3000.com.
In more local news, the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County announced a $1 million pledge towards the forthcoming Sun Prairie location. The donation comes from John and Jo Ellen McKenzie, and the new club will be named the McKenzie's Families Boys and Girls Club, pending a board of directors vote. The club needs to raise $2.9 million more in order to open the facility. The group plans on opening its new Sun Prairie location next January.
More to come on News 3 Now at 5. Coming up, hundreds of gun control advocates are on Capitol Hill today as lawmakers debate stricter legislation.
And then coming up tonight at 6, the city of Madison spends $1 million a year on upgrades to city playgrounds. We're asking where your taxpayer dollars are going.
And the midweek markets, a 163-point climb for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, an 84-point jump for the NASDAQ. The S&P adds 18. We'll be right back.
Hundreds of gun control advocates descended on Capitol Hill today where lawmakers debated stricter legislation. A group of an estimated 600 people drove through the night from Chicago to protest. Gun safety groups hoped lawmakers would take action following a series of massacres in Texas and Ohio in August. Weeks later, they're still waiting. House Democrats tried to keep the pressure on, holding a hearing on assault weapons. Among those testifying, the mayor of Dayton, Ohio, where a gunman used an AR-15 type weapon to kill 9 people. But Second Amendment advocates defended their right to own those types of weapons.
In those 32 seconds, the shooter's weapon did exactly what it was designed to do: kill or injure as many people as possible in the shortest amount of time.
But I have a piece because I have a firearm by my side, specifically an AR-15.
When accuracy and stopping power matter, they are simply better.
President Trump has said the White House is working on bipartisan proposals to curb gun violence, but has been vague on details.
A new climate change report from the United Nations is grim. The UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change released the unprecedented report concluding that the planet cannot keep up with global warming. The oceans, which act as a sponge for CO2 emissions, are at capacity now, threatening to swallow up islands and coastal cities. The report says failure to act soon will lead to a steady stream of catastrophes.
What is at stake is the health of ecosystems, wildlife, and importantly, the world we leave for our children.
One worst-case prediction sees 1 billion people affected by the year 2050. Drought and famine are forecast, along with more frequent and destructive storms.
Work and finances are the top sources of stress for most people, but new research shows many Americans say they're stressed out over politics. That's according to research from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Political scientist Kevin Smith authored the study, which analyzed a sample of American adults. 38% say politics are stressing them out. 20% say they're losing sleep. 11.5% report politics negatively affecting their physical health.
1 in 4 said that they had lost a friend. Similar numbers sort of said that they had experienced problems at work or difficulty staying away from political websites.
Researchers also found younger people who consider themselves more liberal are more likely to report stress.
Time now for a man who only stresses about weather and the Chicago Cubs. Your first alert weather. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
One of those two is over. The other one we're continuing to watch because we have the possibility for some heavy rain in parts of our 10-day forecast. Now, right now things are pretty quiet here. We've had a dry day. A batch of mid and high-level clouds coming in from the west, already starting to thin out farther to the west, so we should expect skies to become mostly clear for tonight. And the good news is no rain across Wisconsin, other than a few sprinkles up in the northern part of the state. These sprinkles out to the west of us will fall apart long before they reach us. Now, taking a look at precipitation over the last 48 hours, there were some heavy thunderstorms that not only brought severe weather, as Dave Caulfield reported before, up in northwestern Wisconsin, but also heavy rains of 1 to 2 inches. Those thunderstorms just fell apart before they reached Madison because the air stayed dry here. Out to the west, some showers made it into southwestern Wisconsin, but even there, the amounts were pretty light. Now, we are looking for a round of showers and thunderstorms from late tomorrow night into Friday. Latest computer models show perhaps 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rain, mainly south of Madison. Unfortunately, that's an area that's received too much rain already, and this area has shifted back and forth a little bit according to the latest computer models. The areas north of Madison more likely to stay with the lower rainfall amount. So that could lead to the potential for some flooding. So we have an alert day in the forecast for Friday for those showers and thunderstorms. 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rain, not out of the question. Not a terribly high amount, but over saturated grounds, don't need any more. Then we have more showers and thunderstorms in the forecast beginning Saturday night into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Latest computer model forecast from the GFS computer model showing about 3 to 4 inches of rain over parts of southern Wisconsin. The European computer model showing about 3 to 4+ inches of rain. Those numbers have fluctuated back and forth a little bit, but really the last few days we've been showing these numbers pretty much targeting southern Wisconsin for the potential for some heavy rain next week. So we have alert days in the forecast for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday now for showers and thunderstorms that could bring locally heavy rains of 1 to 2 inches or more, and even the potential for some severe weather on Monday depending on how much sunshine we get. That'll be our warmest day. Live view from the WISC Skycam showing some clouds, but those are thin clouds and they're mainly high-level clouds not bringing any rain. The Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison also showing that little batch of clouds moving overhead. High temperature today a little cooler than yesterday at 74, but that's still 6 degrees above average. Low temperature only dropped to 65 last night. Right now, our temperature is 69 with mostly cloudy skies. Humidity at 47%. That dew point temperature has dropped to 48, so the air is pretty dry. Temperatures right now range from the 60s in northern and eastern Wisconsin to around 70 out west. The warmer air with temperatures mainly in the 70s down to the south, but the air pretty dry across Wisconsin with dew point temperatures in the 40s and lower 50s. So that little batch of showers will fall apart before it reaches us. Northwesterly winds right now are controlling our weather, but notice to the south, those upper level winds become southwesterly, and that will start pushing moisture back northward by tomorrow night. This cold front that came through last night has become stationary down to the south. As it lifts northward, we'll see better chances for showers and thunderstorms beginning tomorrow night. Temperatures have cooled off a little bit here, but still remain summer-like across the southern part of the Midwest. Our forecast for tonight, skies will gradually become mostly clear. It'll be cooler, low dropping to 50. Tomorrow should be a sunny and pleasantly cool day, high of 68. That's about average for this time of year. As we check out future track, the clouds move out tonight. Low temperatures dropping to around 50 by morning. High temperatures tomorrow topping out in the upper 60s. Tomorrow night, the clouds move in. Start to see some shower and thunderstorm chances by morning, and then showers and thunderstorms through the day on Friday. High temperatures will be in the upper 60s. Rainfall amounts, again, probably heaviest south of Madison, but you can see those inch to inch and a half totals showing up in areas that just don't need any more rain. Dry weather on Saturday. Thunderstorm chances return Saturday night into Sunday. Then those alert days Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for the highest rain chances. By the end of next week, temperatures a little more fall-like with highs in the 50s. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, there's the view of the Belt Line at Park Street, seeing some delays, especially in the eastbound direction as traffic is stopping in the eastbound direction. Seeing some delays from around Monona Drive back to just west of Park Street and also in the area around Verona Road. Westbound, some delays from Fish Hatchery Road back to John Nolan Drive. Pretty typical for this time of day. Right now, about a 20-minute commute or so either direction on the Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate. Heading out of Madison, it's 27 minutes down to Janesville on I-3990 from the Beltline, 22 minutes out to Sauk City on US 12, and 21 minutes to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Alert Traffic.
All right, Gary, thank you.
Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, a major shakeup at Juul, the big changes from the e-cigarette company, and a warning from experts. Stay with us. The CEO of Juul, the country's largest maker of vaping products, is stepping down in a company shakeup.
In a statement, Kevin Burns says he believes the company's mission of eliminating combustible cigarettes is vitally important, and Juul products are intended for adult smokers only. Parents, lawmakers, and public health advocates blame Juul and other companies for the explosive growth in the number of teenagers vaping. Government health officials say more than 1 in 4 school students used e-cigarettes in the past month. Across the country, public health officials are investigating more than 500 cases of vaping-related lung illness and at least 9 deaths.
Juuling has become a verb in high schools that is not really understood to be a dangerous product necessarily.
I expect this week's numbers to be hundreds higher than what we reported last week.
Juul also announced it's shutting down its broadcast, print, and digital advertising.
Stay with us. We'll have another check of your forecast in just a moment.
Gary, one final check of the forecast. More rain. We don't need it.
Yeah, not right now. Tonight, tomorrow should be dry. Radar shows just a few sprinkles out across parts of northern Iowa. Those will die down before they reach us. But tomorrow night into Friday, definitely bears some watching. Temperature's pretty comfortable right now. The air is very dry here. Notice the dew points have dropped into the upper 40s, but it can change in a hurry. Yesterday, our dew points were in the 50s, and La Crosse is near 70 when they had the thunderstorms roll through. So alert days in the forecast for Friday, as well as Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Those are the greatest threats for heavy rain.
All right. Good sleeping weather.
Yeah.
Open the windows.
Windows. Thanks, Gary. We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned for the CBS Evening News.